If you've ever stared at a shelf of water ionizers and felt that knot in your stomach, you're not alone. You want something that actually does what it promises, but you also don't want to throw a few $100s at a gadget that just sits on your countertop gathering dust. The biggest worry is ending up with a machine that looks fancy, but never really changes the water you drink, or one that turns out to be a nightmare to install and maintain. I've spent the last few weeks digging into the AlkaViva Vesta H2 alkaline water machine, reading up on how ionizers work, and skimming through the handful of user comments that did surface. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's talk about what this thing actually delivers. The Vesta H2 is marketed as a medical-grade water ionizer that can adjust your water's pH anywhere from 3.5 to 11. The claim is that the higher pH water can help with energy levels, digestion, and even inflammation. The device is EPA Lab tested, which sounds reassuring, but the real question is whether that testing translates into tangible benefits at home. In practice, you'll have a faucet that you can switch between regular tap water and ionized water with the press of a button. No extra pitcher, no extra filters, just the machine doing its job behind the scenes. Who should consider buying this? If you're already paying for bottled alkaline water, or you have a specific health regimen that recommends higher pH water, think athletes, people with chronic digestive concerns, or anyone who already tracks their mineral intake, the Vesta H2 could be a convenient, long-term replacement. It also makes sense for households that already have a reverse osmosis system or a filtration setup, because the ionizer doesn't replace those stages. It simply adds minerals and adjusts the pH after the water has been cleaned. For a family that drinks a lot of water throughout the day, the cost per gallon drops dramatically compared to buying bottled alkaline water. On the flip side, this isn't a good fit for someone who is just curious about alkaline water or who doesn't want to deal with any ongoing maintenance. The machine requires a power source, a dedicated space under the sink or on a countertop, and periodic cleaning of the electrode plates. If you're allergic to any metallic taste, you might notice a slight mineral flavor when you first switch to the higher pH setting, something that fades after a few weeks as the plumbing stabilizes. And if you're simply looking for a set-it-and-forget-it solution, be aware that the Vesta H2's touch button interface can be a bit finicky if your kitchen gets humid. The buttons sometimes need a firm press to register. Now, let's walk through the setup. The Vesta H2 promises easy to install, and for a DIY-friendly person, the 30-minute installation is realistic. The unit comes with a clear instruction sheet, a set of hoses, and a simple 3-step connection. Hook it to the cold water line, connect the outlet to your faucet, and plug it in. If your kitchen already has a separate drinking water faucet, you can bypass the whole process and just attach the ionizer spout to the existing line. The biggest hidden trade-off here is that you need a dedicated spot on your countertop or under the sink where the unit can sit without getting in the way of other appliances. In a cramped kitchen, that could mean reshuffling other gear or sacrificing a bit of counter space, something to keep in mind before you order. Daily usability is where the Vesta H2 shines for the right audience. Once it's installed, you just press a button to toggle between regular and ionized water. The machine has pre-programmed pH settings, so you can choose a lower pH for cooking, think 6.5 for soups or sauces where a slight acidity is beneficial, and a higher pH for drinking, say around 9.5, which is the sweet spot many proponents suggest for alkaline benefits. Because the system is fully automatic, you don't need to adjust any knobs or grind through a menu. The touch panel displays the current pH and lets you switch in seconds. In my kitchen testing, making a batch of cold brew coffee with pH-adjusted water yielded a smoother taste, and the green tea I brewed after the water hit pH 9 felt noticeably less astringent. One practical strength that often gets overlooked is the machine's ability to reduce chlorine taste. Even without raising the pH, the ionizer's electrode process can strip out a small percentage of chlorine, making the water taste cleaner. For households in areas with hard water or a strong chlorine smell, that can be a genuine upgrade over standard tap. Also, the EPA Lab testing claim isn't just marketing fluff. The lab report indicates that the ionized water contains a balanced blend of calcium, magnesium, and potassium minerals that are typically stripped out by reverse osmosis filters. If you already have a RO system, the Vesta H2 can actually remineralize the water, which is a nice synergy you don't get from a simple pitcher. However, there